It is a very sophisticated missile. People often talk about it as a long-range missile. It's not. It's a tactical missile. It has a maximum range of about 190 miles. And it will have reached that this first time that it's been used in Russia. It will have reached that because it has to sit behind the lines, obviously, which in turn are behind, are further into Ukraine. The Russians will be somewhat concerned, but I think for a number of reasons, it's a little bit, performative. One is that Ukraine's not going to have a lot of them. The U.S. doesn't have a lot of them. It won't have given very many to Ukraine. The second is that the range is quite limited. Although we do talk about it as long, it's longer than the HIMARS. Uses the same launch platform, but it does have a longer range. Both the Ukrainians now, they make their own missiles now, which have a range of 1,500 kilometers, ballistic missiles. What they lack there is money to produce them. But they are using them. And the Russians, of course, they have a whole range of missiles that are much more powerful than the attackers. The real question is, what does Putin want to do with this politically? He has used it, as he always does, to, make a kind of nuclear threat, that we're heading for World War III, nuclear Armageddon, all that sort of thing. Nuclear is extremely difficult to use, and that's why he hasn't yet. But you will see him escalate. He is responding. He has given, anti-ship missiles to the Houthis, and he has said, I can give stuff to your enemies just as you give stuff to ours. Also, mysteriously, 2 cables under the Baltic Sea connecting, Finland and to Lithuania and Sweden to, getting that backwards, Sweden to Lithuania and Finland to Germany, both appear to have been cut. This is another area, very kind of, fruitful potential area for Russia to respond.
Mark, there seems to have been increased rhetoric here, maybe just since the U.S. election, of a negotiated peace here with this war here. Is that something that Ukraine wants at this time, or do they feel that maybe Russia has much more of the leverage? Even Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz made a phone call recently to that end. Where do we stand about a negotiated peace?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The Ukrainians are very worried that there will be a precipitous peace, peace talks. And the difficulty there is that at the moment, Zelensky is actually very clear about this. At the moment, Putin and the Russians have very little, if any, incentive to negotiate. So they have made it clear, and again, Scholz, I think unwisely, made that call to Putin without coordinating with anybody. And the response that he got, according to his own readout of the call, was, we stand by our goals, and there's I'm not interested in the kinds of peace solutions that are being talked about, and our goals are amount to the surrender of Ukraine.